Okay, let's go ahead and get started. As a courtesy to your fellow media members, as well as the coaches and student athletes, please silence your cell phones. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conference. We have a mic in the room, so please ensure you are using the mic each time you ask a question. If you're joining on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for the questions. We will address questions in the room first and get to Zoom if time allows. Recording press conferences on cell phones or cameras is prohibited. Now let's open it up to a statement from Coach Williams, followed by questions for the players. We will hold questions for the coach until the end.
Okay, this is not how we wanted today to end, no doubt about it. I think before the game, if you would have told us that we were going to hold Oregon State to 61 points, we probably would have taken that. I think we had a pretty good defensive game plan and defensive effort today, but they made things very difficult for us on the other end, and it was not our best offensive showing of the season. That makes it really tough for it to end that way, but I'm so proud of this team. I've enjoyed the ride with them so much, and so this is bittersweet. I told myself I will not get emotional in this press conference, so I'm going to try to stick to that, but just the thought of not going back and practicing on Monday, it's breaking my heart a little bit. Love these girls so much, and just so proud of the mark they've made on our program and set the tone and bar for us moving forward.
Questions for Jazz and Alexis?
Lex, they got up 19-6 in the first quarter. What did you learn early in the game that was going to be really hard to do against Oregon State?
Yeah, I think we talked about throwing the first punch and playing from behind, especially on their home floor, is super difficult. And I felt like we really fought till the end, but just that lead, we would cut it smaller, but it just was too big from the jump.
Jazz, what did you guys do defensively that allowed you to get back in the game there by the start of the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think we just played a little more aggressive. Our communication was really good on the defensive end. I think we locked into the scout and we kind of knew what was coming and where we could help from and where we could take to, and I think we just communicated and executed well.
Jazz, what has your time at Nebraska meant to you?
Yeah. It's meant everything. What type of question is that? It's not fair, is it? Not fair. No, I'm just so happy I got the chance to play under Coach Williams, to play with these girls. Everyone that I've met along the way has been an incredible person. She's helped me believe in myself. Yeah. It's meant a whole lot, and I really found who I was, and I've benefited so much from being at this university.
Alex, what do you respect about Oregon State and what they do athletically, inside, outside?
Yeah, they're pretty deep, really athletic. I felt like they were blocking a lot of shots, making a lot of things difficult. I felt like today just I think in our wins we averaged 18 assists, and I think that was a little bit lower today. They just were not really over-helping. Yeah, they're a good team. Yeah.
Lex, what was it like to be Jazz's teammate for the last couple of years?
I'm really gonna miss her. She's just an amazing person. She's so humble. Thank you for taking your 5th year to come back. I know this team and program are really gonna miss her, especially the fans. I mean, she is so talented on the court and a really great passer, which I benefited a lot from, but just a better person off. She just is a really good person, and I'm going to miss her a lot, but she's going to kill it. I'm excited to watch her. on our next journey.
Are there any other questions for the players? No? Jazz, Alexis.
They got what they wanted.
Thank you so much. The Nebraska locker room will be open for about 25 more minutes following this.
They're just going to leave the ugly crier up here. So.
Now we can open it up for questions for Coach Williams.
Nick Daschle from the Oregonian. What specifically did, with Oregon State's defense, caused you problems?
Well, I think that, as Lex said, they had 10 blocked shots in the game. And so they have kind of a versatility because they have power and size inside that can really bang you around and can be physical. They have length where it's kind of tough to go up over the top of them. And then they can bring in and mix in some speed. And so I think those things all in conjunction, it's hard to really get used to because of the versatility, and they can run different lineups in and on both sides of the floor. I mean, you know you're going to get powered in the paint with Reagan Beers, and then all of a sudden they can play Gardner at the 5, and she can pick and pop and score threes. But that same versatility on the defensive end, I thought was really disruptive for us today, and they just kept kind of mixing some things up. I think the 10 block shots made us a little hesitant to go in the paint and do what we do, and that's, we try hard to get paint touches.
KZI, Cameron Derby. You guys also held them to long scoreless stretches. I think they went 6.5 minutes in the second quarter, somewhere around 3 minutes in the third quarter, and then their three-point shot popped open there at the beginning of the fourth. Did they make any adjustment that you saw that allowed them to get those shots off and get it rolling?
I thought that we got some defensive stops there in the third quarter. We really needed to capitalize on the offensive end. We just couldn't put the ball in the basket to really capitalize. But there were some stretches in there where they took shots that were open that we did not want them to have. They just missed them. And then in the fourth quarter, I thought, I don't think our defense was off. It wasn't, we didn't have a ton of missed assignments, but maybe just got a little separated from a couple of their shooters further than we wanted to. And they hit some, like 3 in a row, it seemed like right there, and gave some momentum.
Nick Daschle again from the Oregonian. Coach, you've played teams like Iowa and Ohio State. How would you compare Oregon State to some of the better teams you've faced this year?
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously on their home court. They're a really dangerous team. I mean, it's just a tough place to come in here in this type of environment and be able to play. And so we've been in some pretty hostile environments this year, and I think just going on the road like this is really, really difficult team to beat.
Austin Norman, 93.7 The Ticket. Coach, what are some of the lessons you take from tonight as you look to next year?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll have plenty of time for that. To really look and kind of take the things that we think we can really pull from this experience and be able to use that to motivate the players that are currently going to be returning in this program. But right now, it's just so sore. It's just so tender. Just thinking about the ones that are not going to be able to continue that journey with us. And so that's kind of right now where our focus is at.
Okay, and we do have a question on Zoom from Brad. So Brad, if you want to ask your question.
Yes, hi, Coach. Congratulations on a great season. Last year, your program went to the WNIT. Can you speak of when during this season, with all that tough Big Ten play, that you knew the team was experienced and battle-tested enough to make a run in the big dance?
I know this is not going to sound like the normal answer. I think, most of our players point to the Iowa win at home when we beat Iowa as a big turning kind of. But for me, it was on the road at Kansas before Christmas. And we had a tough loss to Kansas, and that ironically was the place where our season ended 1 year ago in the WNIT. And we sat in that locker room for quite a bit of time after that game, and the comments that were coming out of each one of my players' mouths at that moment was when I knew that this was a special group that was going to be fighters and fight through this entire season, and that we had a chance to be something special. And so for that to come for me after a loss is pretty special. I think it's telltale about this team and their character and what type of people they are and what type of things they will become as they face adversity in their lives moving forward.
Are there any last questions? No. Thank you, Coach Williams.
Thank you.
Hammond Communications will post. Let's get started. As a courtesy to your fellow media members, as well as the coaches and student athletes, please silence your cell phones. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conference. We have a mic in the room, so please ensure you're using the mic each time you ask a question. If you are joining on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for the questions. We will address questions in the room first and get to Zoom if time allows. Recording press conferences on cell phones or cameras is prohibited. Now let's open it up to a statement from Coach Ruick, followed by questions for the players. We will hold all questions for the coach until the end.
Thank you. First off, I'm just really thankful, grateful, excited that I get to continue to coach this group. Even if it's for one more game or whatever, just one more day, I just have had the time of my life with these guys this year. And to go the limit and play as many home games as possible is really special. And to do it in style today, to move on to the 16, it's, you know, what everybody hopes to be a part of. And to do it the way this group does it, to capture an entire fan base the way they have, and then to do it again today on with a national audience. I'm so excited for everybody and more people to get to know them as their platform grows. And so that's my preeminent emotion and thought. Nebraska is a great program, a great team, very well coached. They're here for a reason. Incredible inside game, great point guard play, and really gritty, tough defense, I thought, today, and they adapted as the game went on, and I was impressed by that. They made it was a chess match in the middle especially, and then I thought it was, kind of two different games. It was like the first quarter and the fourth quarter seemed great, the second and third seemed weird, but that's basketball, and so just couldn't be, more proud of this team all the way through the lineup and the roster and our staff for getting them ready, to put them in a position, and they capitalized in a big way today. And so just, it was a great win. And also, real quick, just want to say thank you to everybody that put this on, from NCAA reps all the way through. I just thought it was a first-class weekend here at Oregon State, and I'm just really thankful for everybody's efforts.
And Orange Media Network. So you guys have held your first two opponents to a combined 10 of 47 shooting from the three, while shooting 17 of 51 yourselves, exactly a third, 33.33%. What do you think has allowed you to be so successful in doing so, and how do you plan on implementing or hoping to continue that in the future versus your next opponent?
Yeah, we pride ourselves on defense. That's what we do. Coach Scott has held us to a different standard and expectation this year than last year. And we hold each other to that as well. And so we know what we're capable of, and we know how we can defend teams, and we're not done yet.
And I think to add to that, just the job that our staff does on the scout and, preparing us for who we want to take shots and what shots we want to force people into. And, they had a lot of great shooters out there tonight, so running them off the three-point line was part of the scout. So they put us in such a great position, and the scouts are so detailed, and we hold each other to those details. And so it's easy to be successful when they do that work for us.
Nick Krupke from Fox 12 in Portland. Just to be able to do this in front of so many people that love and adore you, families, friends, everybody in the community, to do it here, how sweet is it?
It's amazing. Obviously, Beaver Nation has been showing up for us all year, so I'm just so grateful to be able to have this game at home in front of all of them, and to share that experience with, our best friends. That's what we say, is playing in front of 8,000 of our best friends, or however many we had tonight. So it's incredible. And for me, my family, and my best friend and her family got to come for the first time this year. So I can't even explain how grateful I am to have that opportunity, and it's just really exciting.
Yeah, I'm super grateful as well. It's really big to have the support we have here in Corvallis, and to do it on a national stage as well, to grow our fan base is really cool. And to have my family here means a lot too. Both my parents drove up from Utah, so to have them here means a lot.
USA Today, TNT. This team seems to really play well when you all are joyful. That's kind of different. Like, a lot of teams get angry and play well. I'm not saying that you're not motivated by that, but why do you think that is, that you play best when you're joyful, when you're smiling? Reagan came in here the other day and couldn't stop smiling. It was kind of crazy.
I think we have those conversations about, this is what you grow up dreaming about, and these aren't moments that we should take for granted, and we're so blessed to be in this position. And so we talk in the locker room about just staying present, taking it all in. Obviously, we're going to go out there and compete, but these are moments, these are games that we're going to tell our kids about, that we're going to remember for the rest of our lives. So just having that gratitude and being present in those moments is something that we emphasize to each other, and I think that's super special and super important. And so that allows us to play with that joy, because we're just so grateful to be in this position in front of these fans, with this staff, with each other. And so, that makes it easy to go out there and put a smile on your face.
Yeah, T kind of hit it. But it's also, going to Italy this summer kind of cemented our team chemistry too. And so it's really easy to have fun with each other. We really, truly are playing with our best friends every single day. And so to be able to have the opportunity to play basketball in front of Beaver Nation with your best friends, what can be better than that?
Alec Dietz, register guard. Nebraska specifically mentioned the 10 blocks you guys had against him that had him a little bit frazzled and frantic on the offensive end. To me, I think you had 4 of them as a team. What did you guys feel that they were rushing shots or just scared of your block?
To go back to what T said about the scout, our coaches do a phenomenal job of making sure that our scout is accurate, and so we just go out there and execute. And we were able to anticipate a lot of their shots today too, and I feel like we frustrated them a little bit for sure, and definitely worked out in our favor.
And I think, obviously everyone did a great job, but TG's growth on the defensive end is phenomenal, just from obviously her freshman year, but from the beginning of the year till now. When she's one-on-one down there in the post, I'm I'm staying out on my person, and I'm just watching her work. And I have so much trust in her. And, that's grown throughout the season, too, where if she's one-on-one down there, like, I have all the faith in the world that she's going to get a stop or she's going to get a block or make them miss. And so, obviously, she's a great shooter. She's a great teammate, all those things. But her growth on that side of the floor has been amazing for us, and it's just going to continue to be so huge for our success going forward.
Thanks, T.
Kerry Eggers, Talia, you came out today much more aggressively, offensively, it looked like. Was that by design?
A little bit. I think I knew that they were going to kind of key in on Ray, and they like to overhelp and kind of clog the paint. So I knew I was going to have to be aggressive and hit shots, and I've been getting a lot of shots up the last couple of weeks and just being ready for this moment. So I definitely knew coming in that if I was open, I got to knock down shots tonight.
John Warren, KJL Radio. To me, it's kind of along the same lines. I know it's a big game. You guys are all going to come out, but you came out, you both did, with a little extra in your step. Those first 2 shots you hit, did that kind of get you thinking that you'd have some opportunity today?
Yeah, I mean, my teammates find me in open positions. I know I was talking to T earlier before the game. We were just talking about little things that we could do to get easy shots. And so we were practicing in warm-ups as well. But, no, my teammates find me, and I just hit my shot when it's open. And just staying ready is a big thing. And I think our bench, too, stayed ready. Everybody stayed ready. That's a big thing about our team. So super proud of everybody.
Brenna Green, Coin 6. At some points during this game, your guys' best offense was your defense out there. And you mentioned that the identity of this team is defense. You've been held to a higher standard. Just how does it feel to see that pay off on the biggest of stages?
Yeah, it means a lot. It has gone with a lot of hard work, a lot of grinding, tough practices for sure. But it's awesome to have the confidence in each other and the trust in each other that I got your back, you got mine. And we play like that defensively and offensively.
Yeah, and I think that's just the foundation, especially tonight. I mean, we missed shots. We had a really long drought of not scoring, and I think with some teams that can cause you to unravel or get sped up or feel pressure. But when you're taking care of business on the defensive end, it kind of lets you relax a little bit on offense and just knock down your shots because you know you're going to get stops. So it's just how can we execute, how can we get great shots and knock them down, and I think that's what it takes to win in March is to have a defense like that. So we have so much trust in our defense, and so just problem solving throughout the game of how we can get great shots and then having the confidence to knock them down.
We have time for one more question for the players.
Cameron Derby, KZI. Talia, you kind of just beat me to it. I was going to bring up your scoring drought and how you guys bust off, 3 straight 3-pointers in that fourth quarter. Was there any specific adjustment that was made, any message you guys heard in the huddle that kind of allowed maybe some extra opportunities to create those shots for you guys?
I think, like I said, just relying on our defense, and we talked about, I think, the 11-possession drought and just how we needed to clean things up on offense, and we were getting some good looks. There was sometimes we missed some open shots, so it's just a matter of knocking them down. But TG and Lily especially, I just told them keep shooting. I mean, TG can miss 10 shots in a row. I'm still hitting her on that pop every single time, and I'm in her face if she doesn't shoot it. And that's just what they do. They're shooters, and so we just have to keep that confidence and keep going and relying on our defense to get stops when the ball's not going in. But yeah, just we got shooters on this team, so just keeping that confidence and doing what we do.
Talia, Timia, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Go Beefs.
Go Beefs.
The Oregon State locker room will be open for about 20 more minutes for the media. We'll clean it up.
Nobody else is coming. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Now questions for Coach Ruick.
How would you rate Tamia as a defender coming into this season, and how much work she's put into becoming really pretty good at that facet of her game?
Yeah, I think. How would I rate her? I mean, she's never been bad. I mean, she's a great basketball player. There's another level though that she needed to hit, just in accuracy and anticipation. That, the 3 months that she missed during her freshman year had an effect on it last year, and that slowed her progress going into this year. So the more reps she got as we went, and as the bar raised for this team, and you think of Kelsey coming in and joining our team, and playing a similar position as her, and Kelsey had 3 years of experience, in this conference. That really put I think a very healthy, competitive situation for Tamia. It just created urgency and growth, and not only in defensive accuracy, but also in rebounding the ball. And those two things were the focal point going into it. And to Tamia's credit, she embraced it with humility and recognized it. She's like, yeah, I've got to step up in those areas. And watching film, she's like, man, yeah, it was like kind of eye-opening to her to understand that there was growth necessary. And then she's become one of our best defenders, and she's one of the people that sets the tone for us on the boards. And so it's been amazing to watch her just embrace what was, a weakness in her game and make it one of the things we're talking about right now. It's incredible.
Alec Dietz, registered guard, asked the players the same question, but Nebraska specifically pointed to the 10 blocks as having a big impact. What did you see that just, one, helped you guys get those blocks, but also set the tone for the rest of the defense?
Yeah, well, being in the way is the main thing. And this game came down to, our defensive game plan came down to, can we guard their post one-on-one? And I didn't know going into it. I thought we could slow her. I didn't know if we could stop her. I didn't know exactly what that was going to be like. And so that was one thing. And, we know everybody. We scout. So we know what they want to do, and we know what they also can do. And then we also know what they don't want to do. And we try to make them do that the whole time. And I thought our defensive positioning was excellent all day, whether it was Ray, Tamia, or Kelsey, on the inside anyway. And then we've got length at the guard spots. And this team's identity, they talk about development defensively and how we hold them to standards. Well, the standard, that's shifted now. Yeah, we did our part when it was necessary. Now it's the culture of this group, and so they hold each other to that standard now. And they're like, well, if you're going to let this team shoot threes, you could be in for a long night. And that's what they do. And so this group chased so hard on the three-point line, and our length allowed us, to get pieces of perimeter shots as well. And so the way that we play defense, we don't get tons of steals, but we make it difficult to be comfortable shooting the ball always, and that was evident tonight.
Cameron Derby, KZI. Reagan picks up her fourth, I think, with like a minute left in the third quarter. You try and sub her out. It doesn't work out until the fourth, but she never comes back into the game, and you guys played some of your best ball over that next 3 minutes. Can you kind of just talk about what you saw out of your team in that specific stretch and the way they responded to that moment?
Yeah, well, we're a deep team. We're a deep team, and unfortunately, we've had stretches of play and stretches of games without Ray. So we're very comfortable without her on the floor, and we know how to play without her on the floor. Right? That's the silver lining in her missing. Maybe we win that SC game. Maybe we win the Washington game. Maybe we beat Stanford with her. I don't know, but if you look at the big picture, maybe we're better in the long run. For her missing those games. Certainly, you'd never want that. But if you have to find a silver lining, maybe it was that. And so this team really, I thought we moved the ball very well. And then we're just a different team, because Tamia can stretch the floor. And so it puts a little bit more pressure on a defense in some other ways, when we're small like that. And then the thing that really was incredible was Tamia's defense in the post, and that's something that allows us to go small, to have a player like her that can bang with a true 5 and then be a 4 or a 5 on the offensive end. That's a tough matchup for everybody. And so it just seemed the right thing to do, to continue to roll with it. And, and I guess it paid off. There was at the media in the fourth, we're like, do we put her back in? Do we, should we not? I don't know. And then it just seemed, the right thing to do, to keep rolling with who we had out there. Good problem, I guess.
Scott, I was curious about your thoughts about the question I asked the players. When Talia hit, I think it was her 3 in the fourth quarter, you had a pretty big smile on your face. I'm sure part of it was like, oh, finally, we got some offense going. Yes. But just what is that like? I sometimes get 2016 vibes from this group just in terms of how much they like each other. Mm-hmm. And how much do you enjoy coaching players who have a lot of joy?
Yeah. You also get 2009 vibes from that, you in particular. And so that is a very special quality of this team. When you have a group that has bought into each other, like this group has, and I won't say bought into the coaches. I mean, that usually comes with it, because otherwise it's not fun for anybody. And so, we're all part of this, but it's when the team is, for lack of a better word, vibing like this group does. It's beautiful to watch. Every day is fun. Every drill is fun. That's just who they are. They have a great time playing basketball, and they know that they're all sacrificing for each other, and there's no weird egos or anything, where we win a game, everybody's happy. Not just the person that played a lot. Everybody's happy. Everybody's celebrating. Everybody's happy for each other. And that's been consistent throughout the year. And so there is that deep camaraderie with this group that they're truly each other's biggest fan. I tell them all the time, I'm like, what you're a part of right now is so special in life. Don't take it for granted. And I just want to keep reminding them, because I know how rare it is to be a part of that. And that's what this group has. And that's why they've, we don't look young. We don't look young. We didn't look young today. We had moments that weren't pretty, but give Nebraska credit for that, But this group, we look like a team that's kind of been there, done that. And, they're playing in the tournament, going to the 16, and only one person's ever even played in two, with Kelsey, has ever played in the tournament before. It didn't look like it, and that's a credit to the atmosphere that they create for each other. And so it's very, very, very special. And for a coach, I know it's very special, so it makes me happy.
Josh Kende, Orange Media Network. I have a question about the next game. Let's say you got that almanac from Back to the Future, and you got to know one stat from the next game. What would it be?
Who are we playing?
I think Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
We're going to play Notre Dame? I'm confident you're going to. Okay, so I'm not. And so we'll see when it happens. I don't know. I'd love to win the boards. I'd love to win the boards. That's probably one. So defensive field goal percentage is something I always look at. And so today we had a really two long, ugly stretches of basketball from an offensive standpoint. They did a great job and made us miss. And I thought we were a little unfocused in the way we executed. And we didn't handle a lead great during that stretch. But our defense never stopped. And so when we're making you miss and we're making you shoot well below your average percentages, we'll have a shot in that game. So if I had to pick one, I'd say that defensive field goal percentage.
I should have said excluding field goal percentage.
Rebounding.
Okay.
Can I say rebounding?
Yes. That's
if not turnovers. How many threes? That we make 10 threes. No. That's a good question.
We have time for one more question for Coach.
KEJ radio. You held them under 30% shooting 3 out of 4 quarters. Is your team playing its best defense overall right now?
Probably. And I say probably because we've seen everything now, and we can adapt on the fly a little bit better than we have. I think just every layer of experience adds up, and I think that's where we're at now. We've kind of done a little bit of everything. We can shift to zone if we need to. We can do very different variations in our 5 defense player to player, and because of that, we're probably a little more accurate than we've ever been. And so I'm finding myself say there's a few things that I don't have to say as often, which means it's all the way in, and so, yeah, I think we're probably playing at our very best on that end of the floor.
Thank you for being here, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Coach.